How to sew a tote bag for elementary level. Let's go! Hack mga ka-cheers! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And for today's video mga ka-cheers, we are going to sew a tote bag. But please don't forget to subscribe. First of all, we need the materials. And number one is the fabric. It is very important that we have to measure our fabric. So the length of our fabric is 70 centimeter. So you can divide it into two, like 35 and 35. And the width is 30 centimeter. And please be reminded to draw a line so that you can cut it straight. And now you have the fabric with the size of the tote bag that you're going to do. Set aside the fabric first and let's get our needle and also our thread. So after you cut your fabric and you have now the size of the fabric that you needed, make sure to fold it into half, and then when it's already equal, you have to put them together and sew in both sides. Please watch carefully on how I sew it. That will make things easier for you. By the way, when you are doing that, you also have to make sure that it is in line. And if you think that it's full or enough, you can drag the thread and also the needle. Just make sure that everything is fine and there are no excess thread that will be left at the end of the fabric. And after you drag the needle with the thread, you have to stretch it in order for you to see if there is a bumpy thread or there is a problem on how we sew it. That's why it's very important that we are stretching it. And after that, you can just continue until you finish the end. And in this spot, you can see that I didn't sew the fabric until the end. You have to make sure that there is a little space at the other side or other end of the fabric, because that is the space where we are going to put the lock of the tote bag. And please watch carefully on how I'm going to close it. You are going to put the needle like that, very little, and you can see a hole. Put it inside the hole and drag it. Make sure it's tight like that, and then you can do that 2 times to 3 times. And if you're sure that you lock it already, you can cut the thread. And now please pay attention on how I lock the thread. So like that, circling, and hold it on the other side, drag it at the end. So that's it. And as you can see, that is the other side that I sew. When you open it, in the inside it looks like that. So you have to sew it very small in order to arrive in that kind of product. And there is a space there, you see? There's a space above. Don't forget to leave a space in there. And now let's sew the other side. So now let's double check. Do we have a spare fabric? Yes, we have there. So we need to fold it like that, and also in the other side. And we are going to sew it both sides. When we are sewing it, make sure that there is a hole at the middle. And if we're already done sewing both sides and also the spare one where we were going to put the locker of this tote bag, we can now proceed to make the handle. And in making a handle, of course, you have to make sure that the measurement of your fabric is also equal. We need 4 pieces, 2 pieces for the lock and 2 pieces for the handle. So you can see that's a little bit thick, and I'm going to divide that into 4. And yes, you can cut it now and do the same thing until you have the 4 pieces. After that, you need to sew it at the side. So make sure that everything is sewed. And also you have to make sure that there is a space inside. And now we have our 4 pieces. We need our next material, which is the safety pin. So if you can still remember, I told you a while ago that you have to make sure there is a hole at the middle, because that's very important. Not only at the middle, also at the end. That's why you have to sew it at the very edge so that there is still a hole at the middle from the other side until the other side. And now we have to put our needle inside like that and make sure it's locked. And you have to put it inside of the hole and push it in through, and try to put some of the fabric inside of the hole, and then you just have to fix it and then push it until the opposite side. And once it's inside, you can just try to drive it going to the opposite side of the hole. So just do it like that. Press, 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 and then drag. Press and then drag. And if it reaches the end, you have to pull out the needle so that the fabric will be flipped from inside to outside. And after you flip that, this is how it will look like. You need 2 of that, so that's one, and we need another one. And we are done with the 2. We are going to just clear the side of the other handle, because that's as is. We don't have to flip that like what we did a while ago. And now it's the time for us to put the handle. And this part is quite tricky and hard, because you have to make sure that you won't be sewing the other side of the Tote bag, or else you have to do it again. By the way, if you can hear why I'm calling it Tote bag, I just want to call it Tote bag. Yeah, but they call it as Tote bag. And by the way, this spare area a while ago, you should not sew that part too, so that will remain a spare area because we are going to put something inside. Now please have a look on the button on how I did that. So there is a space there. Do not lock that part, and at the back it should be look like a box, so you have to sew it like a box. So at the back it looks like that, and the space there is always a space. Okay, so you have to do that 4 times. So we are just in one side, and we will now be proceeding in the other side. Inside the tote bag, it should be look like that. There is a rectangle below the space fabric for the lock. Yep, and also by doing the other handle, you have to make sure that the length of the handle is equal with the other side, or else it will not be easy for you to use that bag because the 2 handle is not in equal size. We still have 2 handles, right? Now we can put the safety pin inside with the other handle that we did a while ago and drag it inside so that it will look like this. So if you drag it, it looks like that. You can remove the safety pin, and there you go. And then you can tighten it in order to close the tote bag, or loosen it in order to open the tote bag. And since it's long, we can make it a ribbon in both sides, so it will look pretty and cute. And that's how it will look like. Not just that, you can also put some designs. It's all up to you, but in this case, I just want to put like these 2 strawberries as a simple but cute design. And here is our final product. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe.